Alright, welcome back to the Genesis Logistics Transport Fever 2 playthrough as we continue on trying to improve upon what we have already built. So I think it's fair to say that at this current point in time, I have tried my hardest to improve upon this whole faction area. I've played it out a couple of different ways, tried to build a couple of different things to get this, in a I guess a much better way, and logistically maybe I'm not good enough, who knows. I would go with that more than anything, just because of what we got going on. So with that being said, I've played this out a different way. My whole goal was to make this more of a hub type thing, but I think in order to make a hub, I'm going to need to basically restart everything and to get it looking kind of different. So for the sake of time, what we're going to do is we're going to leave this and we're going to go about this a different way. So first things first is during this episode, we are going to connect Connecticut and we are going to give them bread and we are going to give them gears. That also being said, we are going to journey way over here to Georgia where we're dealing with oil or fuel. And then we're going to switch this around and be able to give Georgia fuel, which is what they have right now being transported from the Midland Island. But we're also going to be transporting gears this way. So they have fuel. We're going to transport fuel over, or we're going to transport pools over here, pick up fuel, and then transport that back. I did want to mention, we can get rid of that. I did want to mention that I did try to, a new train. I did try to do it to where we did one train, because right now what we have is we have this train who's traveling half full. So it sends out 28 planks, comes back with 19 tools. And try to switch that around to where we had one train going with tools, one train coming with planks and all the other stuff, and our planks went down where we didn't have anything here. But the flip side of that was the money that we're pulling in, because right now we're pulling in about 2 million, kind of suffered. So with that being said, I wanted something that we could actually profit on. So I'm going to build a couple of things, or we're going to build a couple of things to get it to where it looks nice and whatnot. And I want to add a train here and get rid of these cars, because I feel trains are the best way to go when transporting large amounts of materials instead of the cars. And then because right now cars aren't beneficial to us, you know what I'm saying? Each one of these cars can only hold 4, and this train, for example, I want to pause it so I can actually click on it. This train right now is this one's the one that goes to the gear factory, so this one can hold 25 in one load, so it's kind of beneficial to do that. Now what we are going to do is we are going to get this one. I'm going to go on this one right there, and then we are going to highlight all these and we are going to change these around, because we have trains that actually can go the distance. So this one has 177 horsepower, this one has 95, and that's what we're using right now. And then we could also go up to here, which is this one has 190 tracked effort, So this one goes slower but can pull more, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Top speed 28, top speed 34. It kind of goes down to what we want to, you know what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one, and we're going to do the Russian Classic on one of them. Let's do this one, and then on this train we're going to do the 4-4 the General, and kind of see which one does the best. So cargo type, these steel and planks both do the same cargo. So like if obviously we do that one, you can see it uses the planks as well. So we're going to go to this one first and see how much more we can add to it before it becomes a problem. All right, so let's add one more of these. All right, there we go. So we went to 103 capacity. Now let's go to this one. Oh, we went to the poor part. Oh, we're still in poor. All right, so we got train 6 with 103. We got train this one. So I would probably, let's bump this one up to the 103 capacity. Oh, 102. All right, and then we'll go to Steam. We gotta do all cargo types, and then we are going to do, I think this was the one we wanted. Yes. All right, so we'll have these two trains, and then we're going to modify all 3 of those trains to kind of start getting more going. And then we're going to let that play out just a little bit, just to kind of see what kind of stuff. Obviously this one isn't going to be fully loaded, but I mean it'll work. Oh, now we got a full one coming in. If I can get my keys right. Sorry, I move my fingers a lot. All right, so we're going to see this one just barely fits in there. How much does this one have? All right, so now we're starting to cook with a little bit more, and I'm really enjoying that. And then we're probably going to have to bump these guys up. So how are we doing on this? Holy cow, ore. We have so much ore. Alright, so what we're actually going to do is I'm going to go over here. We're going to go to our steel. Let's copy all of these. We're going to edit these. Let's get rid of those. I want the one with the more attractive effort. Alright, that one. So we're going to add this one, and we're going to add this one, and then we're going to go to cargoes and coal. And we are going to bump that up. Just kind of like that. And then obviously bump this one up too. And then bam. So now we got 2 of these trains really coming in clutch right now. This one should be enough. Let's see how fast this guy gets up to, because like, I mean, this is a short train, but I'm not necessarily wanting the speed. I'm more after the hauling power, if that makes sense. I want the hauling power to equal what we need. And the fact that we're able to haul 85 now for the coal, because like our ore, look at this, we're sitting at 1,000. Like we are, this train's working super hard right now, and there's no need for us to be struggling that bad with ore. And that's a pretty substantial, you know, payout there. So that's looking good. I want to see how much. All right, we're at 21 miles an hour. We're also kind of coming into the factory, so it makes sense to kind of slow down just a little bit. And then what does this paycheck look like? $1 million. So I like that one a lot. We're obviously going to be making quite a bit of money off of this one. So, money, 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 money. All right, now I think it's time to nope, I don't want that. I want this one. All right, let's also fix this up. Any cargo types, let's go to Steam. What is this one? This one is the low tractive effort. This one's the high tractive effort. So we'll add one to there, add one to there, and then we'll add one to here. And then this one, figuring it out. All right, so let's get rid of all the gear ones. Oh, wait. Okay, so. Alright, so I want to see how many this one can hold. Oops. Alright, so we have 105 capacities, pretty much what we're shooting for. So, let's go down on this. 105, we're looking at about 50 there, and then that'll work. Yep, and then now we're going to go to, I need gears, or tools, my bad, tools. And then we are going to go oh, nope. Alright. Nope. Alright, so that should be fine. And, oh, nope, can't do those. Alright, and we're kind of all in the same ballpark. Alright, so we're gonna pay $7 million for that. And that's just to get these trains going. So now we're delivering more to here. How much more are we pulling out? We should be pulling out a lot. And then we could even edit one of these trains to where it has more of the gears and less of the logs. And that'll work out just nicely as well. But we gotta get this line operating. So that should work out just nicely. There we go. That's looking fantastic. Alright, this one isn't fully loaded, obviously. It's only got 11 gears out of all of that. But we're about to up the production on... Even that, I mean, that was 100 grand right there. I mean, that's nothing to write home about, obviously, but... I'll take it. And then we're going to let this kind of roll a little bit. Obviously, we're starting to make boohoo bucks. And then let's go to manage this one. And then we're going to do the same thing. So this train, I'm just going to get rid of. We're not going to delete it, obviously, but we are going to theme, add this one, and this one is going to be we're going to try it. So this one's going to be mainly for tools, and we're going to have more tools than anything. We'll have one of those. Actually, we'll have two of those. And then now we're going to go to planks. And let's see if we can fit one of these smaller ones on. Nope. All right, now we will go to this one. And this one's going to have more planks. And then we will go down to, where is it? Tools. And we should be able to add this. There we go. Oh, I don't know what's happening there. All right, so now and then I think logs are the same ones. Nope, that one. Yep, logs are the same ones. And then switch. And this one's going to be try to be as much as 50-50 as possible. And I think that's as 50-50 possible as we can get. Train doesn't have a locomotive. I mean, all trains look like they have locomotives to me. Alright, let's see how much. Alright, so we got 47. That's not bad. Now that we're starting to up everything over here, that's starting to look a whole lot nicer. And we still aren't able to do jack with this ore. You know what? I want to duplicate a train. Because our coal should not be that far behind. Alright, so we're going to let this roll just for a second. We're almost into the 1860s. I'm probably going to start slowing down time just a little bit. I'm hoping one of these trains, this one looks like it could be the ore one. Or the coal one, my bad. Yep, that one's a coal one. That should come in nicely. Oh, we have him paused. There you go. That'll at least allow that to be boosted up. How's this one doing? Alright, so if we get that more transporting up, then that'll be fine. We'll buff that one out. Dang, we're not even full. Only if we could double load that one up. But yeah, it looks like we're really starting to escalate that. Alright, so that's now has more. I don't think we're alright, we're going to give this a minute to kind of buff out. I'm going to pause this now so we're not moving time. And I'm going to let this run for a second and then we're going to get it going. So give me 1 second. Alright, welcome back. So it took me a little bit longer than I wanted to admit. It took me a little bit longer than I wanted to admit. So I added a couple of different lines. So while we're on this journey, I haven't been on this route before, but this is the gear in the bread train. As you can tell by the lower left-hand corner, we're bringing almost a full load to Connecticut. Now, Connecticut is one of our new additions to the line. I've been trying to figure out how to get them fed as far as gears and bread is concerned, and it's kind of been a little bit difficult to figure that out, whether I wanted to go to the DC line and go into that hub, or if I wanted to beat it this way. And this way seemed to be the best alternative way. It does go through a little hilliness. Obviously we're in a cave or underground or whatever you want to call it, but I mean, I felt like this line needs a little bit of work, but as a starter, just to kind of get everything going. And there's the beautiful town of Connecticut. Obviously I know Connecticut's not a town, but there you have it. So in order to get them bread and everything that they need, that was the best way that I could determine us getting them. This is going through the top part of this area. It links in with the Massachusetts bread line along with the gear factory. So I felt like it would work. Now this is going to be interesting in the simple fact of I want to see if we have consumers yet. No, we do not. So we are letting this run. I want to see if I'm going to have to edit this line, because right now it's not showing consumers where I need them to. We did add New York as a new person of interest. So once this Connecticut train gets back, I want to see if it actually stops here at the Massachusetts bread farm, food processing plant, whatever you want to call it, and picks up food. And it seems to do that. I mean, it picked up a little bit, which, I mean, it's kind of what we needed, so I think that's the right one. We'll see if this works. Alright, so it moves into there, which is what we wanted. And then Oh, why isn't my mouse? There it goes. Alright, so let's see if the consumers are working. Alright, New York hasn't shown up as a consumer yet. Did I put the boats on there? I think I did. Alright, so we have one boat. And right now, I got 2 on there. So this is 16. So let's figure out where 15's at. Okay, 15's coming back from New York. But anyway, what I might end up having to do is shuttle 2 lines from here to kind of facilitate this, because what it should be doing is we should be drawing from both, and we're yet to actually meet that as a consumer. And this one isn't meeting it as a consumer yet either. Maybe we need to get a couple of lines going. I'm not sure. Sometimes this game feels like it's pretty straightforward, and other times I'm like, I really wish you would explain stuff to me a little bit better. Let's go and sometimes this helps, and I honestly don't know why, but sometimes this just helps the aesthetic of adding things. So we're going to see if that helps, see if any of these consumers really start recognizing. Nope, no New York. And no New York. Alright, so let's pause this, and then we're going to add a new line, which is going to go from here to here. And then I'm going to, there we go. We're going to make this a really dark green. And your job is to load gears. And then you're going to go to the second destination and unload gears. And then we're going to go to this one. And we are going to click that. Load that sucker all the way up. And then I'm going to unclick that, and hopefully that will then maybe help. It'd probably also help if we actually got things on the line. So let's get this. Let's get 3. And why? Oh, there we go. There we go. Now let's try that. And then let's see if we can't get consumers as a New York line, because there really should be no reason why we're not getting a bread drop off. That's probably why. Alright, let's get this one. And I always hate doing this. Nope. Yep, that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to get really close. There we go. Alright. I'm gonna do that. Then we're gonna get rid of this section. Come back in here. Something like that. And like that. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Alright, so now it's all connected. So now you should be able to go consumers, and we're not making anything there for them yet. Anyway. It would really be a lot easier if I don't even care. If we have to make another one, then so be it. But I'm more looking to like help this process out. And you're connected to there. That's great. We have trains and buses on the route, so there should be no reason why let's try this. And then let's go to lines, this one, and let's move this to 1. So then it all flows in and out like that. You're picking up gears, great, and you're dropping off gears. This one, you're picking up bread, and you're dropping off bread. And then if we go to trains, then start off here, and you're oh no. You're loading up gears, which we got, and then you're unloading bread. And then 2, you're loading bread. And then 3, you're unloading both of that. Then you go back to number 2, where you're picking up bread. And then Massachusetts, you're unloading bread. So, theoretically, that should be fine. Consumers, still nothing. Which is, like I said, exceedingly confusing. Terminal, start. Where's this train at? I guess that's going to be the dictation for all of this. This train's over here. Frustration. Alright, well, I wait to see what the heck the problem is over there. In the meantime, what we did is, so at this current point in time, obviously you can see construction materials. So I have construction being dropped off at both of these points. We're still kind of wanting a little bit over here. This is kind of a far drop-off point, but at the same time, I don't really know a better way to do this. So this guy's coming back with a little bit of production, or a little bit of goods that then makes its way to Virginia and New Hampshire, right? Yeah. So we have that coming in, which is fine and dandy. Then over here we have consumers as Rhode Island. So what I did is I basically have a boat that comes from here to drop off goods. Obviously the goods go into Rhode Island. But then we have Home Slice over here, who's taking the construction material and shipping that way up here. So we have one route coming from here to here dropping off these two materials to make goods. Then we have someone picking up stuff from whatever Pensacola port and then taking that to the Rhode Island port. And then we have someone from here going all the way up here with construction material. So far works out really well. Now, we've also started, we'll go 1 speed because there's really no reason to rush. We got more money than we know what to do with. And at this point in time, I'm trying to make it efficient. So I'm not really caring about the money. So we have a bit of a cockamamie whatever that I'm going to fix in between this episode and next episode. But, point being, we have fuel, planks, and gears. So tools and fuel are now being shipped over here to DC, and then tools and fuel are also being shipped over here to Maryland. Now, how are we getting the fuel? That is, oh my gosh, that's an annoying process that we undertook. So, and I want to talk about this real quick, but into helping get tools and planks up here as fast as possible, I've opened this up. I tried to, as you can tell, make another station that would connect to this, but I'm gonna have to redo this right here, this whole section, to make this kind of a beneficial whatever, to where we can get more trains in here at one time, and then they can come out and then get on their respective tracks, whether they're coming or going. Now, if we follow these tracks all the way up here to Georgia, we have a train. Now we have a train coming in half loaded with some tools, which is helpful because guess what Georgia needs is tools. So we're sending tools over here. In return, they're giving us fuel that then we ship back to Washington, and I think, what is the other place? Maryland. And then obviously we have bread coming in over here that's fueling this. So we're starting to get double of the quantity that these people need. The only issue is if we look at this, we need 102 fuel and we need more tools. So as it stands right now, this is not a very efficient line, and that was kind of what I was referring to, is that during this next break, I'm going to try to make things a little bit more efficient, because it seems like, yeah, we're raking in 7 million, but our towns aren't growing and nothing is coming of it because, one, we're meeting half of the production that we're needing for these towns. So it doesn't really make sense to keep connecting towns when the towns that we have connected at this current point in time aren't meeting what the town needs, if that makes sense. Georgia looks like it's grown, and I mean, it's grown quite substantially. This is going to be the fuel, that's going to be the tools, and I'm actually pretty impressed with myself following our rule, keeping everything in the shopping region and whatnot. I want to get to this. Is that it? No. Nope. This. So, I was checking this yesterday. It's mediocre now because we have a couple of lines, like our passenger lines. They need to be updated, and I know they need to be updated. And then my plan is, here in the future, is to start sending gears and bread over here. The bread part is going to be fairly easy because we got this going over here. Won't be anything but a chicken wing to add a train station, come all the way over here, drop some bread off here. Boats we have right now are useless for bread, but I mean, we're going to need other boats to get the gears over here as well. and then we could start making Midland grow as well. I also thought about adding the stone, New Jersey, at least on the fuel side, because we could put like a train station right here-ish or something like that. Go in, pick up that fuel, meet up with this train station, come in, drop oil off, pick up fuel, come back, New Jersey's hooked in. So that was my next kind of theory. And then we could maybe do something similar with Pennsylvania. In all honesty, I don't know if it would be cheaper just to hook this up and then have a port come in somewhere in the middle ish and then just ship it from there, because yeah, that's kind of a far distance away. And then at that point, I mean, we could probably ship bread over here for them to take back. I don't know, you kind of see the logistics problem. That's kind of what I'm dealing with. I would like to open another tool factory, because this doesn't seem to be being beneficial. And I don't know if it'd be beneficial to ship tools this way, maybe stop the fuel here, because then we wouldn't have to we'd still have to bring tools back, but we wouldn't have to bring as many back, is my thing. And the only issue I have with that is if we look at the map real quick, this is our residential site. So I would have to then bring a road in somewhere over here, come in this way, and then at that point, are we traveling less by going from here all the way over here? And yeah, so that's the next issue that I'd like to kind of deal with. But let's go over here and see if we're actually producing anything. And at this point, I'll configure that just to see if it'll fix anything, because dude, we don't got jack, and we're wasting money, but we're not getting anything yet, which begs the question, what if we added a cargo building? Could we add a bigger one? Consumers, we're still not getting anything. Why aren't we getting anything? This is so annoying. Yeah, sometimes I just wish this game would make sense. Now, did I pick something wrong? Let's go to this one. Alright, so dark green. Okay, you're making gears. 2 is we're loading gears. Where are my boats at? That guy can hold gears. Attached to this, so there shouldn't be any problems. Okay, so 50-50. And then oh. Okay, so we are going to go unload that one. I got these backwards, that's the problem. And then we're going to load 50 of that. And 50 of that. Now let's see how we do. Usually it takes a second. Alright, so now that we got that sorted, that'd be full. We're gonna go to 120. This one we're gonna knock down, and then any. Now we should be able to see a growth here. Technically. And then what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to make this one 4. So it stops interfering over here, and then they're able to just get in and out. How are we doing? Still not picking it up. Alright, where's this other train? Alright, so we're coming in. I'm not producing a lot of bread here. Are they even getting bread? I mean, they're getting very little bread. You'd think they'd be getting more bread than what they're getting, especially with all of this being here. Let's look at the train station real quick. Alright, so everything comes in on this side. We pick up on this side. Alright, so we got 6. New York's finally hooked up. Alright, sweet. So, we have that. New York hooked up here. New York is hooked up. Alright, I don't know what we did. Maybe it was just time. But we finally figured this sucker out. Alright, good deal for us. This one loaded. Nothing. Alright. And this might be a good time to actually maybe think about... I started thinking about a passenger line. I'm going to give this a second. But I started thinking about a passenger line from Rhode Island down here. And then shipping up here. And then having like a... maybe a train station. I'm not really quite sure, 'cause like that seems like a lot, but or maybe park it down here and then having some sort of bus going into here and then maybe a train to New Hampshire and then back. Like, I don't know. And something like that, we might have to clean these lines up a little bit just because of the train situation where they can ride along next to the peeps. I don't know. But that was kind of what I was thinking. Like, we're definitely going to hook Washington up and all of this, but I think in order to get these cities to grow, especially Maryland and Washington, the fact that they need the same resources is going to be problematic, especially when we're just drawing out of this tool factory. So, and then also boosting up in like all this stuff, because I think that's also a problem, is that we're having issues getting what we need in here, especially when we're only producing 400, which we're not even producing 400. Like, let's go 230. So we're having production 230, which means we're shipping in like 500 logs. We're shipping in a max of 4. See, that's not even shipping out as much as it can. And that's due to the fact that this station is inefficient. So we're going to try to get this going. And I think this is going to be our first shipment. No, it's not. Where's our first shipment at? Alright, so we got 2 bread and 1 gear. Alright, we're gonna cut away and watch this one kind of come in. But yeah, we only have 1 station feeding this, and apparently it doesn't really feel the need to go above 3, so we're gonna have to wait for this to grow just a smidgen. But yeah, we're gonna cut away and then I'll be right back. Alright, and here our boat comes in with 3 objects on it, or 3 tons, I'm not even quite sure, but we got 23,000. That doesn't even cover the cost, but we got a little bit of something there. I don't even think this guy got anything, but we'll check. So yeah, we didn't get much of anything, but it'll at least allow this city to kind of start growing just a little bit, because obviously they're out on an island all by themselves. And like I said, we've started our passenger line, which goes from residence to, I think, commercial to industry and then back around. So we're starting to get a flow going there. This guy's got all the bread that was taken. This is obviously going to take us a little bit of time to kind of bump up or whatever. But like I said, I am curious to see how much we get. So we got 23 for the 3 tons or whatever. And I'm just kind of curious to see what this is going to kind of bring us as we try to hook New York into the new age of actually having goods delivered to it. And it's going to be coming around here, which obviously keeps everything kind of away, and keeps it out of the residency. We got $2,000. So need some work, but doing what we can to start connecting New York up a little bit to just kind of help grow some of these industries and all that fun jazz. So, and this will start going up, obviously. What is this boat guy on? Alright, so we got more. We're almost fully stocked on gears. Wheat, bread, whatever is kind of a sore subject, but we should be able to keep everything flowing as far as everything else goes. But we're fully stocked in New York, which can't really complain on that. So until next time, I will check you out later, and do remember, hit that thumbs up button, the like, comment, all that fun stuff. I will read it. And I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, later.